This isn't a story about a beggar. It's a story about how the weakest person can flip the power dynamic simply by changing how they think. It reveals a hidden rule that the powerful rarely teach. A person becomes powerless only the moment they believe they are. This tale exposes the psychological switch that turns victims into strategists and dreamers into doers. Once, there was a man who sat on the same street corner every single day. The world saw him as a beggar, and so he saw himself as one. His thoughts were a loop of his own misery. He focused on his empty pockets, his hunger, and the indifference of the people passing by. His reality was a cage built from suffering, and his mind was the lock. He believed his circumstances defined him. One cold evening, a well-dressed man stopped, not to give him a coin, but to ask for directions. The beggar, surprised, answered clearly and confidently. The man thanked him, remarked on his sharp mind, and left. This small interaction sparked something. For the first time, the beggar realized he had something of value to offer that wasn't tied to pity, his knowledge of the city. That night, he made a silent decision. He would no longer think like a beggar. He would think like the city's most knowledgeable guide. His perception became his new destiny. The next day, he sat in the same spot, but his energy was different. He wasn't begging, he was observing. He greeted people with a confident nod. When a lost tourist looked confused, he offered directions before they even had to ask. He started sharing tips about the best local food spots, the quietest parks, and the quickest routes. He spoke with certainty, not apology. He moved with self-respect, even with an empty stomach. People started stopping, not to drop a coin out of pity, but to ask for his advice. They began offering him money in genuine exchange for his valuable information. He wasn't just a beggar anymore. He was a consultant, a strategist of the streets. He was thinking in solutions, not suffering. This shift in mindset created a shift in leverage. When he stopped thinking like a beggar, the world stopped treating him like one. Power, he discovered, starts internally before it ever becomes external. The mind you build privately creates the life you experience publicly. He realized everyone has an invisible throne. Those who choose to sit on it, even quietly, begin to guide their own fate. Why does this story matter? Because millions of us suffer without realizing the chains are mostly mental, not physical. It teaches a powerful truth. Your circumstance is a cage only if your mind agrees to remain inside. Once the beggar changed his internal script, the world could no longer deny him opportunities. This isn't just a story. It's a blueprint for real-life transformation. Think of a cashier who starts thinking like an entrepreneur. Suddenly, they're not just scanning items. They're spotting gaps in the market, seeing potential side hustles, and noticing opportunities everyone else misses. They're building a new future in their mind first. Or imagine a struggling student who flips their internal script from "I am just slow" to "I will master this." That single change in thought begins to rewire their brain. They approach studying with strategy instead of dread. Their learning accelerates and their confidence grows. This is the beggar's transformation happening in real life. It's the employee who stops thinking like a follower and starts positioning themselves as a problem solver. They become indispensable, not because their job changed, but because they changed how they approached it. They sat on their invisible throne. Most people think mindset is a cliche. This story proves it's a weapon. A single thought can move a person from the lowest point in society to a position of power, not because the world changed, but because they did. The life you truly want begins the exact moment you refuse to think like the person you no longer want to be. If this story opened your eyes to a new possibility, share it. Someone you know might need to hear this today. Thanks for watching.